Now, this next topic, Patrick Mahomes, can he re-enter the GOAT
Oh, bro.
conversation? I know that it's ended for a lot of people, and there's still a long way to go. Brady played 23 years in the NFL.
That's
Mahomes is in his
insane.
8th season, so he still has a long way to go. And I think even if Mahomes three-peated, it would have gave him a big boost, but I don't think he would have just been the unanimous GOAT because
No.
Brady just accomplished so much. But I think people have been waiting for Mahomes to fail for a long time because
Correct.
it really hasn't happened. And I think we forget about even how bad this game was. I think we forget that in 2022, he wasn't favored to win and he won with an inferior roster. Last year, he wasn't favored to win and he won against an inferior roster. This year, the Chiefs were favored just because I think Vegas was scared to bet against them again, but they did have an inferior roster to
Dudes
the
were
Eagles.
like 1 point favorites every fucking game last year.
No, yeah, because they were just, they were scared of them.
No, I'm
But
saying the Chiefs were like, I shouldn't say that. Chiefs were like 1 point underdogs in all
Yeah.
these goddamn games.
they were, but you
Like
look at
fucking 10-point spread.
Mahomes and Brady in the playoffs. I'm looking at their accolades. I'm gonna go through Mahomes first. Through the first 8 years, and this kind of works out perfectly because through their first 8 seasons, they both had a redshirt year pretty much. So this is pretty much through their first 7 seasons as a starter. Mahomes is 17-4 in the playoffs. He already has the second most playoff wins all time. 3-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time MVP, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro. Brady in his first 8 years, 14-3 in the playoffs, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 1-time MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro.
Bulls kill me every
Two-time
time.
All-Pro is crazy to think about. It's only twice.
Yeah, the worst season that Mahomes has had from a team perspective, losing the Super Bowl twice and losing twice in the AFC Championship game. Brady missed the playoffs entirely in 2002, lost in the divisional round, lost in the AFC Championship, and then lost in the Super Bowl as well. And then you look at their numbers. Mahomes has 46 touchdowns to 10 picks in the playoffs. Brady's at 26 touchdowns and 12 picks. Mahomes is at 276.9 yards per game. Brady's at 232.6, and Mahomes is at a 105.4 passer rating, and Brady's at an 88 passer rating. They were both incredibly clutch. Mahomes has 21 playoff games played. He's had a game-winning drive in 7 of them. So in 33% of his playoff games, he's had and manufactured a game-winning drive. So I still think that Mahomes, through the first 8 seasons of a quarterback's career, he's off to the best start that a quarterback has ever been off to. He's literally accomplished everything outside of Brady that there is to accomplish. He's accomplished more than everybody else pretty much. So really, I don't think that it's over for him. I think he can still become the GOAT. Is there a long road ahead? I absolutely do think so. Brady played 23 seasons, but I don't think I can write it off. And I think now this becomes very LeBron and Jordan-esque because, Jordan was 6-0 in the finals, and LeBron isn't going to reach 6 rings, but he is the unanimous GOAT to everybody because of the longevity numbers and just how many times he was able to get to the finals. And through 5 Super Bowls, Mahomes and Brady they're both 3-2. So the big thing being held against Mahomes is the performances in the Super Bowl. Brady hasn't had performances this bad. Mahomes already has more picks than him in the Super Bowl, but Brady has also had bad performances outside of the Super Bowl that do matter. Yeah. So it's like the LeBron Jordan thing where, LeBron Jordan didn't make the finals that many times, but he also lost in the first round all these times where LeBron really didn't. So I do think that there's still a long way to go, but Mahomes isn't out of the conversation.
I think that was the issue, though. Mahomes was on a Jordan-esque trajectory, and this now puts him into the conversation with LeBron, which a lot of boomers were very hard-headed to give LeBron the crown. It took being in the league for 22 years for people to give him the
I still don't
king.
think Braun is like the unanimous.
I don't think so either.
I think it's more split.
There's plenty of old heads that
I don't think.
still,
I think Jordan is a lot
they
of
did
people's
a poll,
goats. Yes.
Like last summer with NBA.
I remember that, yeah.
NBA players and like just people, and Jordan won the poll by like a good amount.
So that's where I understand the one way that Mahomes had to becoming the GOAT was doing what Jordan did, going to multiple Super Bowls in a row and winning them all. Now, you three-peat something that's never been done, even after a lackluster regular season for your standards, and you three-peat still, that holds weight. And I was on record saying I would have called him the GOAT. I would have, because this start was unprecedented. This was Jordan-esque. And Jordan is only one-on-one player to have the dominance that you have in the regular and postseason stat-wise, but also capping it off with championships. That's where he would have had the conversation for me. But now that you have not 1, 2 blowout losses in the Super Bowl. One that was most definitely on you, talking about this one against the Philadelphia Eagles. On top of it, it isn't a quarterback versus quarterback situation, but Brady has beat him twice. Beat him first time in 18, and then, of course, beat him in the Super Bowl in 2020. Now, it's not head-to-head, and I think Mahomes played an amazing game in that AFC Championship game. He was incredible. You could argue he should have won that game if D Ford wasn't
Fucking
a dummy.
offsides, bro.
That doesn't matter. History is history. In that second go-round, the team was beat up. People like to give Mahomes a pass on that one. Doesn't matter. Tom Brady played excellent. He won the Super Bowl, was Super Bowl MVP. He has 7 rings.
10 appearances, man.
He's the NFL leader in every major category. Wins, touchdowns, yards, you name it, it's Tom Brady. Is this an amazing start by Mahomes? No doubt. Have these last 2 regular seasons by Mahomes, for his standards, been average? Yeah, they've been.
Nagy's fault.
For his standard, 100% Matt Nagy's fault. 100% Matt Nagy's fault.
I'm telling you, man.
Get him a receiver too, man.
She writes, man.
But when you go and you talk about a start to a career, you go Mahomes. But I think that it's impossible for him to catch. I think that it's done. I don't think that it's possible to reach GOAT status. One, his style of play. For him to have the longevity in this league, he needs to become more of a pocket passer. I think what he's done as a game manager, becoming a game manager, really trying to get the ball out quick, have those types of plays, I think that's definitely benefited him. But I've seen him take some tough hits that knock him out of a game. And for that reason, his style of play, like others as well, I don't see it leading to a 20-plus year career. I don't see that. I think that he's going to be amazing. He will go down as the second best quarterback that we've ever seen. But in terms of catching Brady, I think that demon's gone.
You think he needs to improve as a pocket passer?
No. I think he needs to stay in the pocket. I think he needs to, if you want to age like that, to play 20-plus years, you need to stay in the pocket.
Rodgers is 40. Listen, what Brady did, played until he's 45. That's not going to happen again. I don't think so. But if Rodgers can play until he's 40, I think Mahomes can play until he's 40.
I never seen Rodgers take a hit like Mahomes, man.
Oh, I'm sure he's taking plenty.
He's taking hits. He's taking hits, no doubt. He tore his ACL. The thing is, I've seen Mahomes get hit and he's wobbling.
Yeah, Mahomes hasn't had any major injury though.
No, well, he not major. He got hurt in that week 3 game that he ended up missing like 2-3 weeks, which wasn't anything crazy. But again, I've seen him get knocked out of games with concussions. That's what scares me.
Before you go, Riv, I just think real quickly, I think now what he needs to have is the individual accolade stuff. Like Peyton Manning was in the conversation with Brady because of his accolades, but the reason why people just brushed it off is because he's just a playoff choker. Like that's what Peyton Manning was. Brady has 3 MVPs. Mahomes has 2 MVPs. Let's say if Mahomes finishes with 5 or 6 MVPs and then like 5 Super Bowl championships, I think it is possible for him to split that debate.
They brush Peyton off because he doesn't have more rings than Brady.
I feel like
It's also the playoff performances.
When Peyton threw 55 touchdowns, 10 INTs, most yards, most touchdowns in a season, if he wins that Super Bowl, it's the greatest quarterback season ever.
Yeah.
And at that time, Peyton would have 2, Brady would have 3.
Yeah.
That's when Brady started
You
winning
could
more.
argue Peyton Manning, he's the best regular season quarterback ever.
But that's what I'm saying. At that time, that was before Brady went on his second peak.
Yeah.
At that time, it was a real conversation. Who's better, Peyton or Brady? It's just the second peak.
Yeah.
It made it a no conversation.
The same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers has so many MVPs, but he only has 1 Super Bowl championship. I think what's helping Mahomes is that he has 3 already. And it doesn't mean he's going to get 3 more because it's hard to win that and it's a total team effort. But if he can just start getting back to those elite level regular seasons again and like just rack up MVPs, I think that's how he has the better chance because I think it's going to be very impossible to catch 7
rings. And I think
rings.
the playoff choker shit died after he beat Brady in 2006. I think he had subpar performances like that game versus the Jets where you guys beat us in round 1. You guys got your lick back after we beat you in the AFC Championship.
That felt sweet, man.
Which it was definitely understand that. But
shout out to Cromartie.
We lose to the Ravens. That's Peyton's first year as a Bronco. That's not on him. We were up 2 touchdowns. The defense just fucking gave up 2 bombs. We lost to Andrew Luck. That was like the year where Peyton started to fall off. Even though he had a good regular season, he wasn't his normal self. I look at '09, we made it to the Super Bowl. He was MVP. He was pretty incredible. He has the pick six, but like everybody should know, Reggie Wayne ran the wrong route and led to a pick six. So he had really great moments. He's 3-1 against Brady in the AFC Championship game. I think it's everything before when he was trying to build up to be that, where, yeah, he wasn't great. We lost to the Chargers multiple times in the first round, too.
It's just relative to the regular season, really.
Of course.
Is that the drop
I think it's just tough for Mahomes because he started off both them 3-2, but Brady went 4-1 after that. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Like, so if Mahomes,
2 peaks, no player has that.
like Mahomes could get
Three,
to
literally.
5 more Super Bowls, but all of a sudden he goes 2-3 instead of 4-1 or 1-3. Of course, there's a world where he goes fucking 4-0, but it's again the LeBron Jordan thing where if he gets there but he doesn't win, it's gonna be a negative towards him. So I think a lot of this too is, you know, in like Rodgers and Brady's peak, it's a talent versus accolades thing. Because I feel like during that time, a lot of people were like, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Tom Brady's the GOAT because of all the rings he got, all of the accolades. But individual player, a lot of people thought Rodgers was the best they've ever seen. I feel like that's where Mahomes is right now.
That's a fact.
Where individually as a talent, Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback I've ever seen. But to get to Tom Brady's status where you have the 7 rings, where you have 2 different eras of football in the 2000s where it's a lot of defense and you'd gain all these hard hits over the middle of the field and he dominates then. And then you have the 2010s where it's a more pass-happy quarterback league and he dominates then too. That's where it's going to be tough for Mahomes because I agree with you guys. I do not think this man is going to be playing 23 seasons. I do not think he needs to be playing 23 seasons for that matter. Just got a $500 million contract. So if he's not going to play till he's 45, if he plays till he's 37, 38, we're talking about him having like 9 to 10 more years. At some point, he's going to fall short of the AFC Championship game. At some point, he's going to fall short again in the Super Bowl. So in those biggest moments, all of these things matter. All of these regular season games matter. All of these Super Bowls matter. He cannot have another performance like this because even though Tom Brady got knocked out in the first round or he missed the playoffs entirely, people just don't talk about it or people don't care to talk about it. He even said this on, it might have been Colin Cowherd's podcast. He's like, they don't talk about the games we lose pre-Super Bowl. They talk to us about fucking David Tyree catching the ball in his head. They talk to us about losing the Giants again. That's the games that people are going to remember for better or for worse. So Mahomes already having this stain, get to the Super Bowl, you fucking Mahomes, but to have this stain where you have, by the numbers, the worst performance ever in the Super Bowl, it's going to take more than for him just to reach a couple. He's got to go another stretch where he goes 3-1 in the Super Bowl, or he goes back-to-back again, or he somehow finds a way to three-peat. And besides that, this is also probably going to be, or not maybe right now, but the next few years, I mean, Andy Reid's getting up there in age. Travis Kelce has maybe 1 more year left. There's going to be another era too, post Andy Reid, post Travis Kelce, that we only got like 1 year of that with, or I guess 2 years post Belichick with Tom Brady when he went to Tampa. We could see that sooner rather than later, and that could be a whole nother debate too, because you had the Belichick Brady, who really is it? Brady won that battle. Not as many people have the Reid Mahomes thing because they're both on the same side of the ball. I think that we kind of see them more as a tandem, but that could be another either positive or negative for Mahomes. If he does it with another head coach, because everyone looks at Andy Reid like one of the best of all time, that could be another, positive factor that goes towards him.
You know,
To be honest, you cooked. It's a great point.
I think people get GOAT conversations really confused up. I think they're getting confused up because they don't actually know what the GOAT stands for. The greatest of all time takes into account everything. I think what people get confused with the LeBron and MJ thing is they switch up longevity with peak. They switch up accolades with longevity. When you are the greatest of all time, everything has to be taken into account. Your longevity, your peak, how did you age, what did you win, accolades, your stats. Everything has to be included because when you talk about the greatest, everything is involved. And I think Mahomes being on that MJ trajectory, it made sense. MJ, he has a ton of accolades. He has the championships, and he has the lesser years. LeBron has that, Tom Brady-like longevity, but he doesn't have as many accolades as MJ. So it's the longevity. But it's like you shouldn't break it up. It should be everything. And with Tom Brady, he has everything. He has the rings. He has the longevity. He has the statistics. He has the accolades. He has everything that you need to be the number one guy. Mahomes, he doesn't have everything. And I think it's okay. He's 8 years in. He's sitting at what, 27, 28, 29 years old.
He's insane.
Yeah, it's okay to not be in the conversation right now, but at the same time, he's only catching one guy, in my opinion. He's only chasing one guy. Love Peyton to death, but I think he's already established himself as a number 2 quarterback. I feel like when people say talented versus greatest, it's a cop out. There's so many talented quarterbacks that we've seen. There's so much talent in the league. That to me just feels like a cop out to just say one guy didn't accomplish as much as the other guy, so I'm just going to use his talent to say he's better than the other guy. And that's going for Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. They don't touch each other in GOAT status. It's not a conversation when you compare their resumes to each other. It's just not. If you want to talk about who's more talented, because you see Aaron Rodgers run a little bit better, you see him make a little bit more swing on his throw. I mean, okay, that sounds cool, but you can't measure IQ. That's not a talent thing. You can't understand what that is. And Tom Brady has probably the smartest brain in football history, and that's something you just can't put on the scale and measure. You just can't send him to the combine and figure that out with a stupid test. So I think in terms of Tom Brady and Mahomes, it's kind of like how with LeBron and MJ, LeBron had to do things that MJ didn't do so he can get himself in. And what was that? Go to 10 straight NBA finals, continue to win in multiple different areas, because MJ stayed in one place for the most part of his career, and that's what LeBron did. He won in he won in Miami. Yes, he won in 3 different locations. He went to 10 straight. You have to do the things the GOAT didn't do to put yourself in that conversation. LeBron has the 40K, 7K, whatever the shit is, with
40,
the points.
10, 10.
Yeah, 40, 10, 10. You have to continue to do things somebody else didn't do. MJ has the DPOY, so you kind of that's how it is. And for Tom Brady and Mahomes, it would have been a 3-peat. I get 3-peat Super Bowls. It's a team thing, but with quarterbacks, they get that Super Bowl. They get that upper echelon, higher vibe, and the 3-peat's never been done. And so do that. That's why the Super Bowl meant it was important. It meant more than anything, because you do something that Tom Brady has never done. You do something that Peyton Manning has never done. Hell, Joe Montana in the 90s has never done it. John Elway, those boys. You do something different. That gets you closer to where you don't have to win 7 rings, where you can sit at 4 or 5 and you be okay because you're gonna win multiple MVPs and you have the 3-peat. You have something over him. So now you're sitting there, you don't have the 3-peat, and winning you still have to win, but to win 7 Super Bowls,
2 different teams,
10. To get to 10,
so crazy,
to win
bro.
in 3 different eras,
7 and 3 is crazy too.
Tom Brady is LeBron and MJ
Combined.
Yeah.
Brady went to 10 in, I would say, 21 seasons, because one season he tore his ACL, one season he didn't. He redshirted. He went to 10 in 21 seasons. Mahomes has been to 5 in 7 years.
So he has an opportunity to. And Mahomes, you can say, in terms of quarterback play, he's probably doing it in the best era, because we have the talented guys in Herbert, the guys that can run and throw 70-yard TDs, Herbert, Allen, Lamar. But damn it, Tom Brady played some teams. We talking about some rough, nasty Baltimore teams. We talk about them Colts team with Peyton Manning and stuff. We talk about them Pittsburgh Steelers teams. He played some nasty, rugged
Jets.
The Jets. I can't even forget them, because they were some nasty, rugged.
Man.
He played some dudes. And even when he went to Tampa, the Saints, the Rams, the Niners. I mean, this dude, and he's conquered it all. So it's 23 years is hard to beat. I mean, shit, it took, this is legitimately Kareem longevity, MJ accomplishment, LeBron statistics. When you have that in one person.
Yeah, I was able to enjoy Tom Brady a lot when he went to Tampa Bay.
For sure.
I love Tom Brady when he went to Tampa Bay. He's everything you're saying he is in describing him. That's why it's going to be interesting to see how, Mahomes' career shapes out in the long run, and see, how many he goes back to, if he does go back to one. Those things are all up in the air. But what I want to really see is I want to just start enjoying Mahomes again like I enjoyed him early in his career. Because when you look at his first 4 seasons as a starter,
Shit was nuts.
he averaged 5,155 yards a season, 41 touchdowns, and 10 picks with a pass rating of 106.
I don't miss that.
His last 2 years, Mahomes is averaging 4,056 yards a season, 27 touchdowns, and 13 picks with a pass rating of 93.
To be fair, we have seen just total passing yards numbers go down across the league. It's not just Mahomes thing,
You look at the Chiefs' offense this year. Let me see. I have this right here in front of me.
Burrow did just pass for almost 5 bands.
Chiefs yards per play rank. In 2018, they were first. 2019, they were second. 2020, they were second. 2021, they were first. 2022, they were first. 2023, they were ninth. This year, the Chiefs' yards per play was 22nd. They were a bottom 10
They were
offense.
just so elite on third down.
And they lost
Yes.
one real game.
Yeah, for sure. You think Brady was happy watching him lose?
Bro, he got to commentate. Watching him solidify himself as the best.
Yeah, you can't ever like know what he's thinking for real, because the competitor in him, like he's so competitive that he probably does like that he's just the cemented guy. But when he interviewed Patrick Mahomes, he said, "If you win, there's nobody gonna be happier than me." So I do think that Brady's a genuine person like that, to where he gives a lot of credit to the young up and coming players in this era, and if things get broken, it does. I mean, there's a long way to go. Like Mahomes is at, I think he's just shy. He has less than 250 passing touchdowns. Brady's clear over 500. Mahomes, the next GOAT that he can catch is Joe Montana. Joe Montana had like 260 something passing touchdowns. If Mahomes has an incredible MVP level season this next year, he could pass that. So really, the only person that he is staring down is Brady, and I do want to see Mahomes do it. But it's like a double-edged sword for me, because I want to see Mahomes have a lot of success, but if he has success, that's going to come at the detriment of other great players in this era that I also want to see win, honestly.
Like who?
I want to see Joe, Allen, and Lamar win. I kind of want to see all the quarterbacks that are at the top establish themselves.
But part of that greatness is keeping it away from others.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was going to say, Dan Marino is a top 5 quarterback ever. He has 0 rings. Sometimes you just don't need to hoist a Lombardi for people to understand your greatness. It helps.
Is he top 5?
You could definitely make that argument.
It's just cemented when you win one, but
For sure.
you got to go out and do it. And
Dude, we got people like me throw Jalen in top 5, even though his regular season was